People, are you living or are you just existing? Are you complaining or are you conquering? Are you going to tremble or are you going to allow your emotions to clash? It makes no difference right now because you're tuned in to Derrick Cash. This is the Derrick Cash episode number 13, and it is entitled Coach Jennie at next month's wonderful conference in Chicago. One more time, episode 13 of the Derrick Cash podcast is entitled Coach Jennie at next month's wonderful conference in Chicago. Who do we have? I'm asking like I don't know who we have anyway. We have a special guest today by the name of Coach Jennie. And I tell you what, you already see her on the line, don't you? Let me bring in her voice so we can hear everything. Here we go. Coach Jennie, are you right there?
I am here. I'm so excited, Derrick. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh, it is not a problem. I tell you what, the first time I was introduced to you, it was in the Facebook group that Monique Johnson leads, and it was encouraging all of us to go live. And I tell you what, it's been fun going live. What do you think about that?
I don't know what I did before. I don't know what I did before there was a blue go live button. It's so wonderful. And I love Monique's course. Shout out to Monique. That's how we met each other. And I love the fact that you can press that go live button and have a keynote address anytime you want. It's so fantastic.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. It's great for spreading the word about a lot of things that we're doing, helping people's interests. You can just talk about whatever, honestly. And so for those who are listening right now, and for those who are watching, people are going to see this on YouTube and Instagram. They're going to hear it on iTunes and Google Play. Why don't you tell all of these people just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Jennie Mustafa Julak, because that's ridiculous. Everybody just calls me Coach Jennie. And I am a coach and speaker and author of a book called Hilda. Now, Hilda is my playful take on the inner critic, that voice in your head who's constantly belittling you and making you feel less confident, getting you to second guess yourself and procrastinate and all of that happy nonsense. And what I want to do is to call her to task so that you can get out of your own way and get on with the business of changing the world. So that's really what my work is all about. I want to make Hilda a household name.
Wow. Getting out of your way so that you can in turn go change the world. Oftentimes, I guess a lot of people, the barrier that's in the mix of, trying to change the world and go into the success arenas, sometimes it's ourselves. I don't know what it is. It could be our insecurities. It could be, I don't know, just lack of resources, whatever we have deemed a wall. But it seems like you are about, come on now, getting rid of that so that we can go out and change the world. Is that an accurate assessment?
That's exactly it. See, I think there are a lot of people that have said we're afraid of all of our potential. I don't think we're afraid of our potential. I think we're afraid of squandering our potential because we're just not doing everything that we know we could be doing if we weren't so scared, if we stopped second guessing ourselves, if we stopped worrying about what everybody was going to think about what we were doing. So really, that's what my work is about. It's about using the silliness of a cartoon character who lives in the back of your brain named Hilda, of all things, as a tool for figuring out what are these messages I'm saying to myself over and over and over again. And can I stop buying into those messages and replace them with something that's actually true? By teaching people how to do that, you become unstoppable. And as soon as you scoop out one more layer of potential, you're like, hey, look, there's a whole other layer of potential right behind that. And it really exacerbates from there. I love my work.
So Coach Jennie, regarding that book, the Hilda, character that you mentioned, where can people go out and get that book?
Oh, thank you. You can go to hildathebook.com and you'll get all the information about it. And I know that there are people with different learning styles, different reading styles. So she's available in ebook, she's available in paperback, and she's available in audiobook. One of the things about becoming a live streamer, Derrick, is I like the sound of my voice now. So I read the audiobook, so I can even read the book to you.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That is awesome. Because I want to talk about this conference, but before we get right into that, so amongst a lot of things that you do, I understand that one of your passions is coaching. And I have seen that you also, you coach business owners, solo entrepreneurs. I probably butchered that term, but I want to get into that term.
Absolutely.
When did you start in this business of coaching? When was that, and how did you get into that?
Oh, great question. So yes, I have been doing this for a long time. I started in 2006, actually. I just celebrated my 12th anniversary as a life and business coach, which
Congratulations.
blows my mind. Thank you so much. It blows my mind because not for nothing, there was no Facebook and Twitter, let alone live streaming in 2006. I got my first clients on like Craigslist, which sounds wrong now.
You did what you had to do.
It's 2006, that was still legit. But yeah, I got into coaching when I was at a point in my career where I was looking around and looking up the career ladder and realizing, I don't know what I want, but it's not this. And trying to figure out what the heck do you do with that? You know, I'd spent all this time like being a good student, going on to college and investing in graduate school and following all the rules and doing what you're supposed to do. And I got to a place where I did everything I was supposed to do. I'm 30 years old at the time and thinking, now what? What do I do if I don't want to climb that ladder? And I always knew I wanted to be a coach, but at that time I thought I had to have a full career, retire, and then I would be allowed to become a coach.
A lot of us think that.
Exactly. And so what I realized was I wasn't the only one feeling this. I don't know what I want when I grow up, but it's not what I'm doing. And I don't want to spend the next 30 years doing it until I'm allowed to do something else. Right. So that's really when I started to focus on my own journey as well as supporting other solopreneurs. That's the word I like to use.
Solopreneurs.
Solopreneurs, right? And entrepreneurs, that's a one man or one woman shop. You know, you're doing it all yourself. Maybe you have an assistant or you're like a virtual assistant or whatever, but it's you and your computer screen making it happen and really focusing on the people who wanted that life. How can we do that in a way that makes a difference? Now, of course, after 10 years of that, it evolved into realizing that my true passion, where I make the biggest mark and can move the needle for people, is focusing on the inner critic work.
The inner critic work. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's what birthed the book about Hilda.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. I didn't want to write a book about Hilda, Derrick, and that was not my intention. I'm a coach. I wanted to talk about like goal setting or something, positive like that. But really, as I worked with clients over the years, every time I introduced them to this concept of Hilda, that was the stickiest piece of content I had. So I just leaned into it eventually.
Understood. Now, there are going to be some solopreneurs and entrepreneurs that can benefit from next month's conference. And so before we talk about it, let's talk about the topic here. I was looking at the link that you sent me and it said brilliance. And here it is, badassery. So when I looked at badassery, when I thought about it, if many people didn't know, I'm a Christian minister. I just surely thought that, you're talking about a donkey out in the wilderness or on farmland that is just stubborn, just reluctant to do what he has to do, what the owner wants that donkey to do. That's a badass. So surely that's what you're talking about, right?
Not even close. No, sorry.
Well, please explain. And here's my only disclaimer to the people who are offended by that term. We are focusing not only on the term, but on the purpose of the conference for next week. But go ahead and explain exactly about brilliance. And as we have described, that other B word.
The other B word, yes. So thank you for that. No, and I apologize to anybody that word offends. We truly don't mean for it to. But the idea of brilliance and badassery for solopreneurs is we put together a 2-day conference that's going to be happening in Chicago in October. And it's really about the conference that all 5 of me and my co-founders, we've been looking for. We've been looking for years. A place where we're not going to, with respect, I say this with respect, but not just another conference where you go, you bring your notebook, you sit in the same seat all day, right. And Master of the Universe after Master of the Universe gets on the stage to tell you how great they are and how you too can be a Master of the Universe if you buy their thing.
Yes.
I'm so tired of those conferences. I leave not feeling like I've connected with anybody. Mm-hmm. I leave with more questions than answers. Sure, I might have a notebook full of half ideas, but they're not personal to me. They're somebody else's dream. So this event is really about us having an opportunity to throw out that traditional agenda. We don't have any experts on the stage. What we have is an opportunity to unconference together. Have you ever been to an unconference, Derrick?
Not an unconference. I've been to some formal conferences though, but not an unconference.
So I didn't make up this term. It's a thing. Unconferencing is where everybody that shows up, the participants, develop the agenda in the moment once they're there. Mm-hmm. So we're going to literally say, okay, what is it that's on your mind? And if somebody's like, hey, I want to start a live stream and do it right and shorten my learning curve, and somebody else is like, I really want to figure out why I second guess myself to death, and somebody else is like, what is going on with messenger bots? Like, they can be that crazy and all over the place. We're going to put all of those ideas on the board, vote for what we want to talk about, and then set up groups in the moment to go have those kinds of discussions. So that's really what unconferences is. It's not you're going to listen to somebody passively, but you're going to actively participate and co-create the experience in the moment.
Wow, in the moment. And it's awesome because you have different people from different walks of life, different geographic regions, just different people. And so they come in and sprinkle all of their ideas and all of their experiences in one session. And it's kind of like the progress occurs organically. You know, it's not forced. Yeah. It's something that everyone can agree on. Have you been to one of these non-conferences?
I have. Unconferences. I know it's such a weird word, but yeah, I have, and I've hosted my own unconferences before, but I've never done it with solopreneurs in mind specifically. I've done it in the life coaching aspect, and believe it or not, I did it back when I worked for the federal government. But
I work for the federal government.
Oh, you do? I used to work. Yeah, we have to connect on this.
All right.
Yeah, the unconferencing method is a way to really drive your own learning and make real connections and get questions answered in a way that matter. You must have a comment. So
I have a comment. I'm sorry.
No, please.
You know, I'm not ashamed of this. This is my very own pastor, Ian Edwards. He's an awesome man. And he has a question for you, Coach Jennie. Is there a certificate in badassery I can obtain?
I love you. No, I don't have a certificate, but I could make one if you want. Let me explain why we're calling it brilliance and badassery. It's because it was a slightly sexier term with a little alliteration that really means ideas and action. That's what we mean. Ideas and action. So day one, we're really going to zoom in and make sure that all of our conversation are about your ideas, your next big ideas that you did a half measure with that you dusted off and cleaned up and brought to the front again. Ideas that maybe are kind of old hat and don't need to continue anymore. And then the second day is about action. What are we going to do about it? How many times you go to a conference and you get a bunch of ideas with no implementation. And you go home with a dusty folder full of great ideas and cute little worksheets that lead to absolutely nowhere. And you feel like, why did I make that investment? Why did I spend that time? That's what we want this to be different. So we're really excited about it. And what's even more exciting is it's not led by one of us. You know, it's led by 5 very different people who have all different kinds of solopreneur experiences themselves, who do very different things. And so we're kind of a sample of the larger population of people we're hoping to have at this event.
I want to dig a little bit deeper into the term solopreneur. But okay, before we get to that, let's plug the date, time, and location just one more time for those who want to get more information about the Brilliance and Badassery conference next month. Where can they go to get that?
If you go to brillianceandbadassery.com, and I will drop the link afterwards as well. That's where you get all the information. I'm double checking my calendar so I don't say the wrong date. October 22nd and 23rd. That's a Monday and Tuesday in Chicago. It's at an event space, in River North. So if you know Chicago at all, it's right there in the heart of Chicago. And, those are the 2 days that we're going to be working together basically from like 9 to 5, Monday and Tuesday. Now the night before on the 21st, we want to go ahead and get all of the squealing, hugging out of the way because so many of us know each other online, but we haven't actually been in the same room to share oxygen together before.
Yes.
So we're going to meet up just for an informal meet and greet, probably at a local watering hole to give each other those hugs and say, wow, you're shorter than I expected. So that's going to happen Sunday night. And then since most of us don't live in Chicago, we thought it'd be fun after 2 days of working together to play together. So on Wednesday, completely optional, up to you if you want to join us, but on Wednesday, we're going to do a little bit of cheesy sightseeing around Chicago, and you're welcome to join us for that as well. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. October, Chicago. October 20, is it
22nd and 23rd.
22nd and 23rd. For all of those who may be near Chicago or not near Chicago, just know that there's a wonderful conference that's going to take place that speaks to everybody coming together, actually giving out their individual ideas, formulating what the action and the ideas plus action will be, and solo entrepreneur. Please introduce me to this term. I just heard this term. What is it all about, and how can folks that are truly a one-person shop benefit from the teachings that will occur next month?
Yeah, so I use the word solopreneur very specifically. Now, this event, small businesses are welcome as well, direct sellers are welcome as well, but we use the term solopreneur as a way to kind of focus in on the person who it's one human's dream that's really happening. That's where it starts. And so if you are somebody who is entrepreneurial at heart, even if you have a full-time day job, even if you have 3 full-time day jobs, but you want to make a living in some way, focusing on your work and your contribution, your skills and your talents, you are a solopreneur. And so that's really what that terminology is about. It's just about not work. When you say entrepreneur, I've been to a lot of entrepreneur conferences. Not for nothing, Mark Zuckerberg is an entrepreneur. I don't want to be at a conference with Zucky. I'm not going to learn from people who are entrepreneurs of billion-dollar corporations.
Yeah, he wouldn't be relatable, I guess, to just the one-person shops out there.
Right. We have very different problems. Like my problems right now are figuring out messaging and figuring out my next sales funnel, not figuring out how to make sure my platform doesn't mess with the U.S. elections. We have different problems, you know?
Yes.
So we want to focus this on people who get it. People who also, that's the other thing about solopreneurs. Most of us are the only ones in our families.
Yes. And don't you, okay, I just want to get on this for just about 30 seconds.
Please.
Oftentimes we are the first ones in our family. And guess what? That leads to everybody like misunderstanding what we do, or like that leads to our biggest critics, like in our families, like, what are you doing? You and a computer every night? I don't understand. Stop that. Go to your other 9 to 5. So it can be frustrating at sometimes, but then also other times it can be rewarding. Would you agree?
I agree. And again, those friends and family, I believe most of them really do mean well. It's hard to understand. I get the question all the time, what are you doing on Facebook all the time?
Yes.
That's my place of business. That's what I'm doing. I'm not there sharing pictures of my dog. I'm there participating in conversations with people like Derrick. I'm meeting Derrick in a workshop with Monique Johnson. I'm connecting with people. That is my place of business. And as a solopreneur, some of the things that we go through that it's just weird to the rest of our friends and family. So having a place and making connections, finding what we're calling your work fam, right?
Yes.
If you have a job, you have a water cooler, you have Christmas parties, you have ways to connect with people who are doing the same thing. And that's your work fam. Those are the people who get you at work.
Yes.
It's different in solopreneurship. We have to create that. And that's why we want Brilliance and Badassery to be one of those places where you can come together, take a break from your business. We made it weekdays because it's part of your work. Don't take your weekend away from your family. Take Monday and Tuesday, your 2 work days, take them for you to focus on you and your business.
Awesome. So is this the first annual event?
Yes, good question. It is our first event. I don't want to say it's our first annual event because it really depends on how it goes.
Right.
Depending on how it goes, we may do this every 6 months or every year. But yeah, and the other thing is, we don't plan to stay in Chicago. We want to kind of bounce it around. When we looked at it, the 5 of us looked at where we are, right? So Jen Vasquez is in Boston. Tamsin is in Michigan, which is pretty close to Chicago where Annie is. And Carrie's in Colorado, and I'm out here in LA. So we looked at those 5 spots. We decided the middle of Michigan was probably not going to be the most exciting, and Chicago was the most central.
And let me also speak up for myself and Monique Johnson. We recommend Atlanta and Maryland or District of Washington area as well. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, okay. I see voting is already in for the next spot. I love it. Well, and I just moved from New York not too long ago, so where I actually met Monique. So New York City is also on my list of places we'd love to go. But that way, as we move around, here's what's so cool about this event. As we move around, we're not going out and figuring out new speakers. There are no speakers, right? This event, yes, the 5 of us are going to share little workshops to keep the conversation going. But our promise to you is nobody will be on the stage talking to you for longer than 10 minutes.
Okay.
Ever. We're going to have a lot, it's going to be very participant driven. It's going to be a lot of conversations. So you can go again and again with different challenges, different questions, different ideas, different actions to work on no matter where we're hosting these. So we're really excited about that. And then one last thing I have to tell everybody, it's limited to 100 people.
Limited to 100 people. Okay, good to know.
We do not want this to be one of those massive, ridiculous conferences where you leave feeling completely anonymous. We want you to have the opportunity to connect with people and really make some serious connections and walk away with that work fan. So we're keeping it really small and intimate.
Okay, I'm going to go to another question. Before I do that, let me just go to the folks that are on the line right now. I just want to let you all know, feel free to ask any questions that you may have regarding the conference that's going on next month. I also listed a call-in number if you all wanted to get on the phone and ask your question. If you really want to be really high-tech and you want to show your beautiful face, I can also send you the link as well. So just let me know. But yes, feel free to ask your comments, ask your questions rather. All right, Coach Jennie.
Yes.
So for that solopreneur.
You're going to have it down by the time we get done.
For that solopreneur who's never been to one of these conferences, when they get there and they've heard that 10-minute speech from whoever, and now it's time for that breakout session, if you will, and everybody's it's kind of an intimate atmosphere and everyone's exchanging ideas. What can they expect in that specific forum? Because, I mean, let's face it. A lot of these people have never been to one of these forums before. What can they expect? What kind of things are going on? What kind of idea exchanges are going on here?
The possibilities are endless, which is a really crappy answer to that question, but it's also the truth. Yeah. I mean, one of the things that we're going to encourage you to do, which is an unconferencing term, not a Coach Jennie term, I just need to go on record to say that, is to embrace the law of 2 feet. What the law of 2 feet is that as soon as you are not getting value, as soon as you're in a conversation that's not moving the needle for you or not the information that you are interested in or want to learn right now, I want you to use your 2 feet and move to another conversation. Gotcha. So one of the things that you're going to experience is there's not going to be too much of all of us talking at once in one group, one room. For the most part, it's going to be one room with 3 or 4 different mini groups and maybe a pair of people over by the water fountain hanging out. And I want you to use those 2 feet and make the space yours. Other thing I want to throw out to you, there are 5 co-founders to this and 2 of us are extroverted. The other 3 are decidedly introverted. And so they are making sure that we have, it feels good if you are introverted that you have plenty of time and plenty of breaks and plenty of space to kind of refuel yourself from an ongoing barrage of tons of conversation. So I think that we put together a really good balance. And if you go to our website, you can download the, an at-a-glance schedule as well as a detailed schedule to get a sense of everything that we have going on. There's nice long 30-minute breaks. Jen Vasquez is a fitness trainer, so she's going to stretch us out when we come back from breaks. So it's going to be really supportive. That's really what I want to get through. Is this going to be a very supportive experience where you can't do it wrong. The only thing that you could do wrong is to not show up.
Understood. I have to throw this question out there because someone definitely wants to hear the answer. How much is this costing them?
Oh, yeah, that's a terribly fair question. It is $500 for the 2-day conference. And if you sign up, please let us know that Derrick Cash sent you so that we can thank him in a very special way. We want to thank him. He did not do this because it's an affiliate. He invited me to be here because we've connected many times, but never, I don't think you and I have ever had a conversation before. So this isn't one of those, he was like, hey, can I be an affiliate of that? This is actually, we want to have a way to thank you, Derrick, for taking the time here.
Coach Jennie, it goes back to what we were talking about before regarding connecting on social media with like-minded individuals. You know, the group, I think it started off as Step Into the Spotlight, and now I believe it's Live Video Lab. I think that's
Live Video Lab, yeah.
Yes. led by Monique Johnson. And so I would always see the comments that you put in there. I would see some of the interviews that you were a part of. And I just saw your personality. And I kind of saw, even though I may not have talked to you individually, I saw your drive. I get the Hilda character. I get where you're going. So it's like, yes, let me be a part of what Coach Jennie is about. And,
I love that. Thank you.
So I just thank you for showing up in this.
Absolutely. Well, and that's the whole thing. When you're trying to make your business happen or your podcast bigger or anything that we're working on kind of behind our computer screens by ourselves, it's hard and scary. So the more that we can connect with each other, the easier it gets. And then the more, here's the word again, the more badassery we spread, the more that we are able to be our best selves. And yeah, we need certificates for that. I agree.
Understood. Okay. Everybody, and those who are watching the replay of this video, feel free to post your comments, and I am 100% sure that we will get back to you regarding the answer to your question. Well, I think this is a good time to maybe wrap things up. Let me check. Is anyone on the line? I don't think anyone is. No one is. But you have to check that.
You have to try.
You have to try. So, Jennie, Coach Jennie, for those who didn't hear anything else we said, can you just do kind of a wrap up, a takeaway of the conference next month and how people can benefit from it?
You got it. So if you are so sick and tired of toiling away on your business by yourself, in your silo, in your little office, in your apartment, and feeling like you're reinventing the frickin' wheel every single time you try to do something big and bold in your business, you need a work fam. You need people who've been there, done that, get that, have the t-shirt. Join us at Brilliance and Badassery so we can help you with your ideas and your actions. It's happening October 22nd and 23rd. I got to get that through my head in Chicago. You can learn everything you need to know at brillianceandbadassery.com. And the link is below in the comments.
All right, good people. Let me see. Are there any comments? There are a lot of comments on here, but it's no questions, but it's good comments. Awesome information and very professional from Ian Edwards.
Nobody ever would call me professional, Ian. I love you.
Hey. You never know. Oh yeah, he's the one that talked about the certificate. But anyway, first of all, lastly, I want to thank everyone for joining this broadcast. This is a live stream. This is the episode number 13. And I'm so glad that Coach Jennie was here to offer that information. I have a sneaking suspicion this won't be the end of our conversations.
I hope not.
I know Coach Jennie has some wonderful things to offer to this world in the areas of coaching and other areas far beyond. So thank you for joining us one more time, Coach Jennie.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And so I'll close like this, like I always do, team. People. Are you living or are you just existing? Are you complaining? Or are you conquering? Are you going to tremble or are you going to allow your emotions to clash? I tell you what, it makes no difference because right now you were just tuned in to Derrick Cash and Coach Jennie. So, okay, you all. Bye. Take care. We'll see you later. And